Hey everybody, this is Dave Coe and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we are going to make magic in After Effects. We're going to take out, remove, make object vanish from our footage. If you don't believe me, here you go. And what makes that magic happen is something called content aware fill. And this is something that has been around in Photoshop, I think for a couple years at least, where people can remove distracting elements from their photos or from their images. But now we can do it in video, which is incredible. Like it's amazing. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and pick a we're going to pick a piece of footage and we're going to drag it into our comp. And since this is a 1080p comp and this footage is larger, it's probably a 4K piece of footage. If you do Option Command F, you see in the bottom left hand corner, it'll squish it into the size of the frame. So as you can see in this frame, we'll just play it. You'll see this truck here. We're going to remove that, and maybe we'll try to remove that. And then also another feature, we'll try to remove something on the road. Should we remove that or that? Maybe we'll do both. So first things first, what we want to do is go to the beginning. Make sure your playhead's at the beginning. So you're starting at 0. I'm just going to zoom in because the car is kind of small. Or the truck, whatever it is. It looks like maybe imagine it to be like a Land Rover or Defender or something rugged and outdoorsy. And we're just gonna make a little mask around it. Come on, bud. Okay, and when I'm doing this, I actually like to keep it in none so that I can see, just to make sure that everything is within the mask. And then we'll just move down a little bit to see. And I'll just move, I usually just move this around, so I just have to do minimal masking. Oops, I forgot to set the path. So we'll go back to the beginning. We'll click on the stopwatch here to set our first keyframe. And we'll move this back here on top of the car. And then we'll just scroll up. Bum, 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 bum. That's pretty smooth shot. Okay, so what I'm looking for when I'm doing that is just little bumps to see if there's any camera, like a change in direction of the camera or anything, or anything in the footage. But this is a pretty continuous, like one direct. Oh, okay, there we go. So we have the camera movement, which changes the perspective of the land, and kind of the car, but also the car is driving along the road, so we're having to track the car too. So we'll do that. There's a little bump up there. And now you can move each point around. I'm just trying to do the least amount of work, because in the olden days, when I was starting out, if we wanted to remove this, we'd have to rotoscope this car out in the shadow. Like, you'd have to get tight right on the line. Tight. And then maybe do like a mask feather or like expand the mat a little bit or whatever. But as you can see, my mask shape around the car is very, very loose. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to capture the texture of the road and the outside of the road. Okay. Oh, just takes off right there. Let's see if we can do it with one last mask. Okay, so I think it stays in the whole time. Oh, it's getting close there. Let's just Now I don't know exactly what After Effects is looking for when using this tool. Okay. I'm just going in to make sure that and usually when you set like these big spaces between a keyframe, it's usually in the middle of that space is where, if it leaves the frame, it'll be within that space. Just tweak this over just a touch. So. Okay. This little, it's kissing the edge there. Just bring that back. Make sure you can here. Okay. There we go here. A little bit there. We'll be okay now. Okay, so pretty much we have this set. It's done. Then we go to where our content aware fill is. And now there's 3 different types of fill methods. I would say 90% of the time when you're trying to remove something from the image, from the video, you're going to use object. There are times where you might use surface or edge blend. Like surface might maybe be good if you're you're trying to remove like a logo off a laptop surface cover or whatever, and so you would just mask around the logo and just track it if there's a camera movement. And then I would use, in that case, you could probably get it with the object, but the surface might be better because it basically takes a sampling of the surface on which you're cutting out and then uses that texture and everything inside the mask. So you got to kind of play around with it, but I would say the majority of the time you'll be using the object fill method. And then work area, you can do work area or entire duration. We're just going to use the work area because we're not actually doing the whole comp area. And then that's it. And then once you're done, I just move back to the beginning just so I know where I'm at. Before I hit the generate fill layer, what you have to make sure to do is, if you're cutting out your mask and using the none mask setting, you got to go to subtract so that After Effects knows to cut out that part of your video and try to replace it with some sort of fill. And so once you have that, you can hit generate fill layer and it will start to generate a fill layer for your car area. And you'll see that it has created a new layer called fill. And this gets saved in your project folder, wherever you are saving this particular project. And it'll designate it by comp. So this is called comp 1. It'll be under fills, comp 1, and it'll show you whatever, if you have more than one fill in there or whatever. So right now it's just analyzing the pixels around the imagery around the mask, so it knows what to fill the inside of the mask with. And so we'll just fast forward with the magic of editing, and we'll be at the end of the analyzing and rendering of this fill layer. Alrighty, it's all done with the magic of editing. We've fast forwarded to the completed fill, and as you can see, we can no longer see the car. That's where the car was. That's where the mask is, but there's no car. What the? And so if we render this all out, let's see, the car has disappeared. It's gone. And I'll go to a side-by-side, like a split screen of the same shot, so everybody knows what it is. It's gone. So since this car was moving in relationship to the road, like it's moving along the road, right? So After Effects figures, okay, I know what this pixel is, and now this car is coming into here, so I'm going to fill that with this pixel, and so on and so on. But say you want to get rid of something like this, like a little divot or pothole in the road. It's distracting, right? So what we can do is we can create what's called a reference frame. to get rid of this. And so what we'll do is we'll select this again. We'll create another mask. Where am I at? There's my pen, or P for pen tool, and we'll come in and going to just do that. So now we'll add it to none so that we can see it better. And so we'll just follow this along. Okay, oops. Double click to select it all, and then we'll just rotate it because the camera perspective is rotating. Oh, I forgot to set my mask path. So I'm just setting my mask path here. Okay. Make sure it's all in there. Okay. Do that. And it is getting smaller, it looks like. So we can shrink this down a bit. I don't want to do it too much necessarily. As long as the mask is within the road, I think it'll be fine. And the perspective is shifting, so I'm just turning the mask a little bit, making sure that it's fitting inside. Now, this might seem like it's a lot of work, or it's really laborious to do this, but imagine doing this for every frame. When you rotoscope something like this, it's like so monotonous, and it's just like not a fun thing to do. At least, I don't know, some people might find that fun, but I'll zone out doing that. Okay, so I think we have that in. Keep it in there. Okay. Just now scrolling back to. Oh, see that part there. Just scrolling back to make sure that this stays within the mask. The potholes stay within the mask. Okay, so the potholes. So we're just scrolling back to make sure the potholes stay within the mask. Oh, right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now that we have the pothole cut out, what we want to do is change the none to subtract. So After Effects knows that we're talking about this, and then we'll go into object, we'll go into create reference frame, and that will open up Photoshop. And in Photoshop, what we'll do is we want to leave this top layer untouched. So we'll create a new layer, bring it underneath, and we're going to clone. Use our clone tool and clone in this road. Okay, so we want to leave this top layer untouched, and then paint on the second layer here. Okay, something like that, close enough. And we'll save it, and what we'll do is go back into After Effects, and you'll see that the reference frame that we created now has filled in the potholes, but it's just for that one frame. So what we have to do next is we have to generate fill layer. So what's going to do is going to generate a fill layer for this reference frame. And here we go. Generating, analyzing. And again, with the magic of editing, we're going to fast forward. and make it come back. Okay, so we're done. We're back to it, and you'll see that the pothole is gone in the first frame, the second frame, the third frame, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay, so let's go to fill. Let's fill this. So the pothole is gone. It used to be right there somewhere. Now that's gone, and if I turn on this layer, the car is gone, and once it finishes doing the pre-render, here we go, preview render. Look, so the pothole's gone, the car is gone, and that, my friends, is content-aware fill. Magic. It's just wizardry. I don't know how they do this witchcraft, but I know it works. That's it. So content-aware fill. Check it out in After Effects, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. I'm hoping to cut this video under 10 minutes, so please let it be under 10 minutes. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials. If you want to see more After Effects, if you're interested in learning motion graphics, let me know, because this whole YouTube channel kind of started out because a friend of mine had some questions about Premiere, which is not my primary tool, but we're in After Effects now. So if you have any After Effects questions, if you want to see more of that, let me know, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao. If you haven't already, like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Oh, and hit the little bell icon.